a name, boss. I keep on moving forward, always getting closer. I march until it's over.
Hello friends and allies, and welcome to a new video. In today's video I want to give a review of the Chopper of Destruction, which is a weapon with classification 2, and I have reached the maximum tier 2 for this weapon.
Fuck. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Fuck.
Using the Forge system on our Chopper of Destruction with classification 2, we can maximum gain the tier 2 on this weapon. So we have the very best weapon at the moment, we can't make it any better. And by applying the tier 2 to the weapon, we have around 1% chance to deal 60% more damage, either with an spell or with an auto attack. So depending on how lucky you are with the attack effect or the onslaught, you can be dealing it with an Exorigran, Exorimas. What I want to say is the chance to trigger this effect is really low, and the creature also needs to have a certain amount of HP when hitting to make it efficient. What if the creatures already have low HP? The fatal won't make any different effect on the creature. Currently I have low blow on the Dark Torture, I have crit on the weapon, and I also have onslaught, which means we can crit in 3 different ways, which makes it really powerful, but you will almost be certain to have any kind of effect always proccing, which makes the weapon amazing. But let's talk about the cost of making the weapon to tier 2. The first thing which you need to make is to make the weapon to tier 1, and to make it the weapon to tier 1 you first need 2 acts of destructions with the tier 0. So you need to combine 2 tier 0 weapons to make it into a tier 1. And this needs to be done twice, because we need 2 tier 1s to make it into an tier 2. So this is the roadmap into making a weapon into tier 2. We need to make 2 tier 1s, which we're going to be combining into a tier 2. And to make a weapon into a tier 1 costs 750k, the dust and the slivers. And make a weapon into tier 2, you're gonna need 2 tier 1s. And that combination gonna cost 5kk at the forge to be trying. So the minimum cost when it comes to making a weapon into a tier 2 is 4 Chopper of Destruction and around 6.5kk in pure cash if you were to never be failing. So the cheapest price which you can get away with maxing out the Chopper of Destruction to its best possible way of a tier 2 will at minimum cost 20kk, with the cost of slivers today and the cost of gold tokens. And that is if you were to not be failing when you are making the forge. So we are at the forge and we're gonna make some cores by our slivers, and we're gonna use 2 cores in each attempt, because the cores make sure that we increase our chance by 15% and by 50% that we get our weapon back with the same tier. And if you have a weapon at tier 0, the 50% assure that you get your weapon back, because you can be losing it, and as you see at the moment I lost. But I were lucky and got my weapon back at the same tier, so I was able to just give it another try. And you can see by the picture how it looks like, and to the right you see that I got my weapons back in the core chest. And after some more hunting in Winter Elf, I received 100 more dust. And I bought the slivers from the market. And since I got my weapons back at tier 1, we are ready to give it another try. And obviously, we're gonna make sure that we have 2 cores activated again, so we have a 65% chance to be succeeding. And I don't want to be losing my weapon in the case that I fail. But I was lucky, and this is how it looks like when you succeed to tier 2. And this was only with the classification 2. The other classification 3 and 4 has a heavier forge price, and the items are more expensive as well. So this is a really cheap weapon to be fixing. It's the best option for a player like me who do not have the resources yet. Let me give you guys a short review of the Chopper of Destruction. It's really useful here in Dark Torture, and that's why I made this weapon first. It's a classification 2, so it was pretty cheap. And I also got it to its maximum tier, which I really enjoy. It's not a game changer, it's just nice. And as I mentioned before, I really enjoy that you have crit on your weapon, you have low blow, and now you have onslaught as well. The chance to be proccing something is really high. How much do I estimate that I earn extra? Well, since it's 1 in 100 chance to be proccing, I won't be comparing hunt analyzers for a 15-minute hunt. It's not gonna make any huge difference. So I'm just gonna say that sometimes I proc onslaught here and I gain some extra HP and mana. And sometimes I auto attack and hand off the cursed fate and I kill it a little bit quicker before it makes a mana drain. The experience boost, it's not changing at all, I would say. I save some money here and there and I gain a little bit extra experience. So I'm just gonna put a random number there, like saying I gain 200k more experience per hour and I save like 30k gold per hunt. I don't know. It's such a small difference that I won't be comparing it with a hunt analyzer. And was it worth the 20kk to make it into a tier 2? And I would say 100% yes. I don't know what I would spend my money on otherwise when it comes to my knight. I have no new items which I need currently, and I would only use the money to be skilling, so I rather make it into the onslaught effect. So I think it's really worth the money, but you also need to have plenty of money to be focusing any of the other weapons which has classification 3 or 4. That shit is going to be really expensive. And while we are at it, let me give you a short review of the forge system. I hate the gambling aspect, and especially the fact that you lose a tier if you were to be failing. But I do enjoy that this is an end game content, and that the high levels have something to do in respect of just, spending money on exercise weapon or Ferumbra's hat. And it also increases the value of items, so low levels farming bosses can now make even more money while not using the forge system. Because if you are poor, like me, who focus on classification 2, I wouldn't even bothering with this. I would just use the dust to increase your amount of capacity. And since this forge system also increased the value of items, it becomes more valuable to be doing bosses once again. Even the Cobra clubs have a decent value these days. So in my general review of the forge system is that I think it's really good. It makes item have a better value, and you can slightly increase your value with onslaught or the other 2 effects on your armor or helmet. Thank you guys very much for watching. I haven't tried any more forging than what I have just talked about. I haven't dared to be talking about any of the other classifications and the prices and the value of doing it, because I can't afford it, and I don't want to talk about an item or a system which I haven't tried myself. But I hope you enjoyed this video and would considering subscribing and liking the video. Happy charming, happy hunting, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.